The High Evolutionary, a significant new antagonist who has created multiple distinct species in the MCU through genetic engineering, appears in the Guardians of the Galaxy. The last chapter was performed by Chukwudi Ibuji. The High Evolutionary seeks Rocket's special brain to advance his goal of building the ideal society in the film Rocket, which depicts Rocket as proprietary technology that fled his laboratory years before the first Guardians movie. However, Rocket was neither the first nor the last of the High Evolutionary's creations. Each confirmed species that the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 developed as listed here. 1. Sovereigns. So, turns out the Sovereign's High Priestess Aisha, played by Elizabeth Debicki, is not the boss after all. In this latest chapter, we learn that she answers to the Big Cheese himself, the High Evolutionary. And boy, is he not happy with the Sovereign's aesthetic experiment gone wrong. Their egos are way too inflated for his liking. The High Evolutionary even threatens to pull the plug on their existence if Aisha can't get Rocket with the help of her half-baked creation, Adam Warlock, played by Will Poulter. Talk about a tough boss. 2. Batch 89. Okay, so here's the story of Rocket, a baby raccoon who went through a wild ride. First, he was torn apart and then put back together using some fancy genetic tinkering. As Subject 89P13, he was part of the High Evolutionary's Batch 89 experiment to create the perfect society. But, despite becoming buddies with his fellow subjects Lila, Teets, and Flo, they were all deemed unfit for the new world that the High Evolutionary had in mind. And, to make matters worse, Rocket's friends were brutally killed. Although the villain valued Rocket's brain, the smart little raccoon managed to escape. Talk about a lucky break. 3. Humanimals. Rocket's genius strikes again. He came up with Batch 92, which even surprised the High Evolutionary himself. This batch resulted in the creation of Humanimals, humanoid animal hybrids. They lived on Counter-Earth, a world similar to Earth that had inspired the High Evolutionary a long time ago. But, alas, the Humanimals turned out to be imperfect, like their ancestors. So, what does the High Evolutionary do? He goes all out and detonates Counter-Earth, wiping out the entire civilization, without even batting an eye. Talk about harsh punishment for being imperfect. 4. Zeronians. Hold up, folks. The Guardians have made a startling discovery about the High Evolutionary. It turns out that he's the dude responsible for creating the Zeronians, you know, those guys with white skin and plates on their faces. We first saw them in Thor, The Dark World's post-credits scene when the Reality Stone was being delivered to the Collector. And, wait for it, there's even a Zeronian chillin' on planet Xander in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Who knew these guys had such a connection to the villain of the hour? 5. Recorders. Have you met the High Evolutionary's entourage? He's got 2 recorders named Dhal and Wim in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and there are plenty of others in his service throughout the movie. These guys all look the same, with bald heads, glowing eyes, and cybernetic implants. It's almost like the High Evolutionary just cloned himself and gave them all makeovers. 6. Star Children. The High Evolutionary's latest creation in Guardians of the Galaxy is Star Children, white-haired kids with insane abilities and low-maintenance needs. In the epic finale of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the High Evolutionary releases his monstrous creations called Hellspawn on the Guardians and Nowhere. These cybernetic animal hybrids were made to protect the High Evolutionary's perfect society. Meet Warpic, voiced by Judy Greer, and Behemoth Ronaldo Fabal, the not-so-cuddly creatures. Hey there! Don't forget to hit the sub button, it's free.